Well, good morning. And Mark, thank you for an old song that we haven't done in so long but there is reason why it was chosen. Absolutely. So we'll get to there in a second. Hello, everyone. I'm Leland Jackson. I'm your platform assistant today, and I just want to welcome everyone here today on a bit of a muggy October day, so we'll just kind of see how we work through it. And also welcome to all of those out on our Love Streaming Live Land, so welcome all. So today's daily word is rejoice. So that's why we came to this wonderful song. So I rejoice in unlimited possibilities. The Apostle Paul described himself in his second letter to the Corinthians, quote, as sorrowful yet always rejoicing, unquote. He calls upon his followers in Philippi to, again, quote, rejoice in the Lord always, unquote. By recognizing and thinking about the positive, the lovely, the excellent, and the praiseworthy energies in my life, I claim them and increase them. I rejoice when I both feel and express the joy of eternal spirit. There is energy in the infinite good that brings all people together in consciousness. I join with others in knowing and affirming that nothing is denied us through faith. I keep my focus on positive energies, bringing them into greater expression in my life. I rejoice in unlimited possibilities. And from Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. You know, and as I'm thinking about this, that first quote from Paul into the Corinthians, you know, in being sorrowful, but always rejoicing, so that we can have those moments where we may not feel our best, but if we sit back and just rejoice, give thanks for something in our life, that will so uplift us in those moments. So it is another way of giving gratitude for whatever is going on in our life and holding that in the highest of places. So remember, with every step, make it a joyful one, and your day will be very, very blessed. So this is normally the spot in the service where our children would go on to the YFM, but as the first Sunday, it is a family service, so we enjoy everyone here with us today. So if you will stand as you are able, we will read our statement of being. It will be up on the screen. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And take this time now to greet each other, ask for that handshake or that hug, and just recognize the soul that is within all. And those out on live stream, hug your pet, go get a cup of coffee, just stretch as well.
get more of is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. When I start my day in peace, when I start my day in peace, that's what I get more of is peace. When I start my day in peace, when I start my day in peace, it's what I get more of is peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. When I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, that's what I get more of is joy. When I start my day with joy, when I start my day with joy, that's what I get more of is joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with truth. When I start my day with truth, when I start my day with truth, that's what I get more of is truth. When I start my day with truth, when I start my day with truth, that's what I get more of is truth. Truth, truth, truth. Truth, truth, truth. Truth, truth, truth. Truth, truth, truth. Love, love, love. Peace, peace, peace. Joy, joy, joy. Truth, truth, truth.
Thank you again, Mark. And Karen Drucker's songs can just lead to such wonderful chants and allow us to blend in the words and change them. And that it was a nice addition, Mark, of adding truth with that. Thank you. So I do have a few announcements for today. So we have something called an online auction going on. Has anybody checked the website yet to see what's there? Yes, yeah, there's some neat stuff on there, and more is going to be coming. And what you'll see scrolling for a moment are some of the things that are on there. Now, if you want to come to the service a little bit early, like 10:45 or even 10:30 next week, you'll actually see this scroll. You'll see a little bit more and more of what's on there. So come early and actually see, or go to the website. So just it's a great thing. We will have the live portion November 10th, but the online stuff is out there now. And just as a note, that in honor of our veterans and military personnel, that they would receive a 10% discount on any of their winning items with the appropriate IDs. So we want to honor those folks in our community. Today, there is the community outreach meeting at 12:45. Should probably be in the green room. Slight error in our bulletins. It says that there's a prayer chaplain meeting next Sunday. We actually have our retreat this coming Saturday out in New Woodstock. So prayer chaplains, we have that, I believe starts 9:30. 9:30, so, and we'll go till as complete. So through the afternoon and things. So on Wednesdays, we have our ongoing class, the Practical Metaphysics out of Eric Butterworth's lectures that became a book. I have to say that right now we are in the midst of a 7-day verbal diet. You ever heard of a verbal diet? It's called really watching what you say, and more importantly, even what you think. So it's an interesting piece that came out of last week's class. So please come and join us, even if you haven't been to the others. And then finally, the celebration for Day of the Dead on Friday, October 26th. There's tickets and more information down in the fellowship hall. I don't see Patty Schatzel right now, but she's the contact person for that. So I think that wraps that up for right now. I think, do we have, any of our youth can introduce our Power of the Month? All right, we have Natalie and Curtis coming forward.
Say good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Curtis.
Okay, that's good. You're gonna-
Hello.
Yep.
Just right there.
Yep, right there. Okay, so the power of the month, zeal,
Zeal.
disciple,
Disciple.
Simon,
Simon.
the Canarite.
Canarite.
Color,
Color orange. Location back of head.
thanks, Curtis.
Yay.
And since the first Sunday, we have birthdays to honor. So those with an October birthday, I know we've got at least one person in the room that had an October birthday. Will you stand and we'll sing happy birthday?
God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Happy birthday, all. And I'd now like to warmly welcome our guests. Do we have anyone that has been visiting back for the second or third time, or just maybe who hasn't been here in a while? Raise your hand. Welcome back. Glad to have you again. Please stop down in the bookstore after the service. We'll have another gift for you and some time of fellowship, so get to know you a little better. Do we have anyone who's visiting us for the very first time today? No one for the first time? Okay. All right. Well, please, everyone, go downstairs after the service, and we have some fellowship, some coffee, and other goodies that are out and about. So we'll get a chance to know each other a little bit more. And now is the portion where we talk about our 5 basic principles. How the tenets of the basis of unity, how do they work in your life? How did they show up this week? And if there's anyone who would like to share how 1 or 2 minutes, give us a little share on what has happened in your life this week with one of the principles. Yes, Patsy's going to share.
Thanks, EJ.
It's on. It's on. It's on. You got it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want to speak to principle number 3 and the impact that this verbal diet is having on my life. Because before Reverend Edith and I started teaching this class by Eric Butterworth, I had never thought of, I had thought of, but not really embraced, never saying what was wrong and always phrasing it in what could be better and always phrasing it in positive terms and not showing any sort of, not feeling or showing any sort of anger or angst or anything like that. And I cannot even tell you how much richer and more joyful my life has become since I've changed my language. Now, I didn't have to change it a lot. I just had to change it a little, just eliminate a few things that I would habitually say. And I'm not saying them anymore. So this is not a diet to get skinnier. It's a diet to get more full of spirit and to speak that truth. So these things work. And by the way, Eric Butterworth's book is actually a compendium of these 5 basic principles. So it's a rich, very rich way of learning the greater depth. So I invite any of you that wants to come on Wednesday to come. We have a great class going.
All right, Joanne, go ahead.
Hi. I was out of town last week, and I was visiting some friends. Some longtime friends, and they had some medical issues, and I was really concerned and praying a lot for them. So I was in Washington, D.C., and I went to Unity down there, and I'd never been to Unity Church anywhere else. And it's like, this is my family here, so warm, and it was so nice to be, at another Unity Church and feeling the same things. When they went to greet each other, what they do is, as they hug or shake each other's hand, it's like, you are the light of the world. And all throughout that service, just like here, all the little things that make a difference, it's everywhere. So the number of those principles that I noticed. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. You are the light in the world, yes. How nice to say that when you're greeting someone. Yeah. So now we come to the prayer portion of our service. Will the prayer chaplains serving today after service stand? We have Ken and Mina. Thank you very much. They will be available after the service, one up here, one downstairs. We have prayer chaplains available from 10:45 to 10:55 before the service. So please seek them out. And it can be a prayer of gratitude. It can be, a prayer of need, if a request, but just spend some time in getting centered with the prayer that can be there. So we see that our prayer box has been brought forward. Unity was founded on prayer, and at Silent Unity now, they're approaching almost 130 years of continuous, nonstop prayer. Amazing what's there. If you have not yet placed your prayer intention in the box, you may do so after the service. You may just hold it in your heart, because it's in that holding where it is honored as well. So we do hold these intentions here for the next 30 days. We don't look at them. They're held in confidence. And then they are sent on to Silent Unity, where for another 30 days they are held in prayer. And we just know that it is received as complete when we put the asking in. So,
infinite presence, infinite abundance. We breathe in now, and we know that before we can ever even ask the question, it is answered. We know the perfection in spirit is manifesting through to us now. We feel the truth of our being lifted, and we know the truth is here. We practice our realization thinking, and in the real, all of our prayers are answered. Amen.
And now is our meditative portion of this service. Some of you may want to join me, if you haven't already, in closing your eyes. I invite you to do so. And those who are not comfortable closing your eyes, I simply ask that you focus on one spot in the room. For we affirm that there is no spot where God is not. So relax. Relax and let go and let God. In this moment, we imagine a light that is shining, like a light bulb. And understanding that that light bulb is not just shining because we turned it on, but because it is always on. In the same way that we know that we trust in the knowing that Spirit is always here. For there is a light that is shining brightly as us, which is operating through us, as us. We trust that. And we come to understand in this moment, knowing that light is there, that we were born with trust. We were born as this bright, shining body, the body that we inhabit in this moment and every moment of the day. So we allow ourselves to be the light, to trust in the light that is shining brightly as us, leading and guiding our path. In this moment, imagine that you are feeling and experiencing the light now. And knowing that that light is warming up your body. Feel it. Experience it. As we move into a time of silence, declaring our oneness and that we are one and we are alive. For in our oneness is our aliveness, and we allow it to be us. In the silence, we go deeper in the light together, allowing us to improve our conscious contact with Spirit and declare our oneness in a deeper and more profound way. In the silence, we take a pause to simply connect with each other and that which is within us, and trusting in our own inner guidance. In this moment, we sit together. We sit and know, I am trust. I am trusting. I am trusted. In the silence, we go deeper together. I am. I am trust. I am trusting. I am trusted. And in this expanded state of awareness, we bring into our hearts and minds all of the prayer intentions which have been placed in our prayer box. We bring anyone to mind who we may be thinking about, bringing them to this space. And even ourselves, we put ourselves in this space. For this is a space that we have created that is this high vibration of beingness, of infinite possibilities. For they are always at hand. And we give thanks. We give thanks for this opportunity to take a pause and sit in the space between the words. In this moment, we are grateful, and so it is. And so we simply allow it. Amen, and amen, and amen.
Each child is born into this world in original blessing. God has adorned each little child with a heavenly light, trusting and warm. Each child is born in original blessing, fresh as the morn. Each child is born into the light. Each child is born as new as the spring. Each child is born with a new song to sing. Give each child the guidance and love they deserve. Let's reach out to all of the children of the world. For the children's sake, let's open our hearts wide and let our children shine with the light that's inside. Let's teach by example lessons lasting in worth that show them a sample of heaven on earth. Each child is born safe in God's arms in original blessing. With pure heart, each child is born into the light. Each child is born into the world in original blessing. Safe from the storm, perfect in form, each innocent child. Each child is born new as the spring. Each child is born with a new song to sing. Yes, each child is born without hate, without sin. And each child is born to win. For the children's sake, let's open our hearts wide. Let each child shine with the light that's inside. Let's demonstrate goodness, peace of our youth. Let's teach them of mercy and telling the truth. Each child is born into this world in original blessing. God has adorned each little child with a heavenly light. Each child is born trusting and warm, safe from the storm, perfect in form, fresh as the morn. Each child is born in original blessing.
You are a blessing. Did you get that from that song? Did you get it? Yes. Good morning. I'm Reverend Edith Washington-Woods, and I'm so grateful to be with you this morning on this first Sunday in October. And being that it's the first Sunday, I have a book. So the title of the book is Lying Up a Storm. And if any children or children at heart want to come on down and listen to it, come on down. We've got 2 children at heart. Oh, we got a 3rd one. Oh, we got a 4th one. All right. So this is a little book, and thanks to the ultimate librarian, our music director. Thank you so much. It was hard to figure out which one. So this is about a kid, and his name, he says, my name is Levi, and I always tell the truth. Well, most of the time. Yeah. That's not none of you, I know. Whenever I don't tell the truth, I kind of, sort of make up other stuff to say. Sometimes the truth is boring. Sometimes it's just easier to tell people that what they really want to hear. Sometimes lying keeps me from getting into trouble. Besides, it's not like I tell great big whopper lies. I just tell little bitty ones, like this little, and not this big. That's not none of you, right? Here's another kid at heart. Yay. So he tells all kind of lies, and at recess he saw all the cool kids talking, and basically he goes to them and tells them about his Uncle Jim. And he says that his Uncle Jim is going to be one of the first people to spend a whole week up on the moon. Yeah. Yeah, right, Levi. Or should we call you a Levi? You know, Levi. And he just let them say whatever they're going to say. And it's a longer book, so I picked out some pages that maybe you kind of like. So Levi was talking to his mom, and she was asking him to go find something, and he said, I can't find it. I think it must have fallen out of my backpack on the way home from school. His mother says, are you sure? He said, yep. At first, I thought it had worked, but then my mom said, Levi, when you tell a lie, your inside sun goes away. Then a lying cloud forms and glooms up your whole day. So he's looking at her with these big old eyes like, oh my goodness, my mom's caught me again. He felt really awful. Not only was I lying to others and to my mom, I was lying to me. My insides were wet and soggy, and I hadn't seen my inside sun for days. So I took my mom's advice and decided to give telling the truth a try. You had that sometimes, right? That don't want to tell the truth. Okay. Mom, I lied to you about the note. I threw it in the trash so I wouldn't get in trouble. This is what his mom says. Thank you, Levi, for telling me the truth. Oh my gosh, you didn't freak out or nothing? Not even a little bit? Have you ever had that? Maybe a little bit. So Levi went on he went and told his friends about his lie about Uncle Jim going to the moon. And then I said I was sorry. That's what Levi said to them. And this is what they said. It's okay, Levi. Want to play football with us at recess? And he said, they didn't even freak out either. Well, just before the bell rang, I told Edith the truth. Yeah, it said Edith.
That's why you picked it.
You know it. I told Edith the truth about the pencil. and then I gave it back to her. She totally freaked out. That figures. Yeah, little Edith. By the time I got home, my storm was gone. My mom was right. Lying feels wrong. From now on, I'll know what I need to do. No matter how hard it is, I'm telling the truth. Levi, did you wash your hands? Yeah. Nope. I'll go do it right now. And that's the end. Thank you so much. So how many times has it been for us? I don't even know why I have this book. Here, can you say? Oh, yes, I do. I know why. My mind is going. How many times have we grown up in our lives, and maybe even our adult lives, with some kind of lie? You don't have to raise your hands. I don't want you to tell on yourself, right? But I know for me, here's what happened. Last Sunday, goes out to eat at a restaurant, and something was not right on the check, so we sent it back. And the check came, I look at the check, and I go, whoa, that's different. Apparently, they had taken my meal off. And I had that fleeting moment of thinking, wow, a free meal, that'll work. And then that part of me that's kind of like Levi and wanting to practice telling the truth said, oh man, okay. I called the waitress, what do they call it? Server. Yes, thank you. I called the server back over, and I said, I think there's a mistake here. And now, mind you, the manager had did that. So I could have really got away with it, right? Because the manager had changed the ticket. But I knew that I had that food, and I needed to do the right thing. So there's this part of us that knows it, that knows when those little itty-bitty not truths, when they occur, we know what to say, right? I think that is because it is within us. That because there's this light that shines and operates as us, that we always have a clue as to what we are to do and what we are not to do. So in our book that we're reading, The Endless Practice, Mark Nepo says that only the light of my being, found in the trust we are born with, the trust we return to, only that isness, allowed to glow, can break the pinhole trance that fear holds on me and on you. You see, I believe that Levi had some fear, don't you think? Like he was afraid that people weren't going to accept him. He was afraid that perhaps he was going to get judged, and definitely felt like he might get punished if his mama found out that he was lying. But some of those lies he made up were kind of silly anyway, so she knew. But when we realize that we're born with trust, then we get that trust is kind of synonymous with love. It's kind of synonymous with light. That when we allow it to be us, that we're able to live into it, that we're able to allow that light to glow as we grow. That it's always there waiting for its opportunity to show us who we really are. You know, in the Practical Metaphysics book, Patsy talked about that seven-day verbal diet, and maybe that was what little Levi was doing. And Eric Butterworth says that all good communications comes from inner communion. All good communication comes from inner communion. So when we are connected with that innermost being of ourselves, that light that shines brightly as us, then the communion that we're talking about is the co-union we have with Spirit, the co-union we have with that infinite presence. In a way that it becomes just like with Levi, that the light bulb goes on and we shine brightly as us. You know, I was thinking about this morning what it was like for me when I was growing up as a kid, you know. I grew up learning how to lie. You see, my parents got divorced. They split up, I think, when I was around 7, and they got divorced somewhere between 7 and 8 or something like that. And my dad he was an amazing dad up until that point. He would come and get us, and even when they were separated, he would take us to his one-room place that he had, and we could jump up and down on the bed and everything. It was so nice to do that, me and my brother. But then, I don't know, he had a girlfriend, and then he became her wife, and they'll be married 50 years next year. But the point is that my brother and I, we would wait for my dad, and he wouldn't show up. He would call us and say, "I'm coming to get you, get ready." And we come from outside playing and put on our clean clothes. You know, you don't want to go being smelly and dirty with your dad. And we sit in the window up on the second floor where our bedroom looked out on 11th Avenue. And we'd wait. And we'd wait. And we'd wait. And sometimes we cried. Where was he? And I believe it was then that I became a worrier, worrying about my dad. Where was he? Was he okay? And even at time when we heard that the reason why he didn't come was because his Electra 225 car got wrapped around a pole, gave me a reason to worry, a reason to wait. And every single time he did that, my brother and I would sit in that same window, looking out on 11th Avenue, waiting, wishing, "Daddy, are you coming to get us today?" And I learned how to lie. I became a good liar because my dad was such a good liar. And then I realized that there were many people in my life who were liars. And they became my examples. But who is our example today? You see, I think little Levi, that he was looking for something outside of himself that he already had. In the same way that I did, I was looking for my dad to give me something that I had to realize I have. That we each get to tap into that most intimate place that is within each of us. The place where trust is, the place where love is, the place where acceptance is. And that when we do that, then, only then, can it radiate out from us in the most magnificent, amazing ways. In a way that is our vibration and that energy of us is brighter, lighter, and more accepting of others. Then there is no fear. There is only love. Our Bible verse for today comes from 1 John chapter 4 and verse 18, and it says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected with love." You see, we're called to be perfected in love. We're called to allow that love to bubble up and radiate out from within us to everyone we know, despite what may have happened in our lives. that we radiate it out to those people who tend to be our button pushers. Y'all know what I mean. You may have had your button pushed today already. But how do we allow love to be love in a way that it does that even in those places and with those people who we don't agree with? You know, there's a lot of disagreement going on right now in this country and in the world. Well, how do we allow our love to shine even then? It has to do with our thinking. It has to do with how we utilize that principle. You know, the one that Patsy had talked about? That our thoughts are things. That our thoughts create our reality. And do they match? You know, trust is part of who we are in our life. Stephen Covey says that trust is the glue of life. It is the foundational principle that holds all relationships. You know, glue is kind of sticky. You know, you touch it and you don't want to touch it because then you can't figure out how to get it off unless you go wash your hands. And depending on what type of glue it is, depends on how easy it comes out. But if you consider that trust is part of who we are, that it is the core of our very beingness, and that it's backed by love, then the foundational principle with a capital P, meaning God, meaning love, meaning all there is, then we know that that is our foundation, that we are born with trust. You see, we were in our mama's wombs at some point, right? All of us had to be. That's why you get here. And we trusted in that space, that warm space. Very warm, very nurturing. All of our needs were met. Some of us might want to go back there. I think I would. Just like to go visit. No, seriously, like think about it. Like all your needs are met. And then you get born and then it's like, oh, what happened? This is not like it was. And in that moment, life shifted. But in that moment, we're able to trust in the process. We didn't have a choice to, did we? We had to get born. And then life happens and distrust happens. So we're called today to be with that and to know that it can be a challenge to love those who push our buttons, who cause us to have some disagreement and non-agreement or agreement or whatever it is that we want to call. And in our book, Mark Nepo says that our deepest challenge is to love the oneness and aliveness out of each other despite the resistance we face and create. You see, I had to do that with my dad. Oh, Kira, it's beeping again. I don't know why. I'm not moving. I swear. I'm standing right here. I did have to do that with my dad. I had to look beyond that pain and despair and look within the soul that he is and understand that he did the best he could. He didn't have instructions. He just didn't. And to love him despite those things that happened over and over and over and over again. So when we have resistance to someone or some situation, then we're called in this deepest challenge to love, and to know the oneness is there because there is an aliveness in our oneness. And when we call it forth, then we know all is well. We know that we're able to trust that process and that it takes practice in order to do that. So the way that we develop trust is when our actions meet our words. when our actions meet our words. I believe that that is why in the book that we're studying on Wednesday nights that we had this 7-day verbal diet. It's only to get us into practice. Because what you don't practice, you can't perfect, can you? You know, you could go home today and take all this and go, yeah, okay, I got it, I understand. But until we put it to practice, especially in those moments of disagreement, how can we put it to test? How can we find out if it really works? Oh, I know, you just want to do it when it's like the happy stuff, with the happy people, those people that make us laugh and stuff. But the deepest challenge is when we call it forth with those that we are not in agreement with, whoever it is, whatever party that they happen to represent. I'm not getting political. It may be the party down the street or the one I was at last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I know, hey, I'm 58, I get to party a little bit. It is in those moments, though, the moment when we allow the actions and the words to meet, that the binding happens. In those moments, we are called to be the love that we came here to be. So I want to challenge you, perhaps. Yeah, the 7-day verbal diet. Like Eric Butterworth asked the class to do. Could you take it on a little bit? You don't have to. But what about if you just took it on and said, you know what, I'm going to have my actions and words match. I wonder what would it look like. Will we be willing to do like little Levi and try it out? Just try it out and see what happens. What would happen if we let go of those people that we judge, of ourselves when we judge ourselves? What would be left? Well, it would be the space that is between the words, the space where there can only be possibility, the space where creation happens, the space where imagination takes over and we create something new, a new way of being in the world. You know, they say that war is not solved with war, right? It can only be solved with love. Is our words that we create creating a war? A war with others or a war with ourselves? You know those things we tell ourselves, like the gray hair, the glasses. You know those things that I tell myself. But what if the words and the action and the beingness of love matched? Then I would be okay with all those things that I tend to judge about myself and others. We're called to do a verbal diet that matches the actions and the beingness that we are. Yeah. Perhaps you'll take it on. And our affirmation for today is as follows. I am trusting infinite love to guide all my actions. Will you say that with me, please? Together? I am trusting infinite love to guide all my actions. One more time, please. I am trusting infinite love to guide all my actions. Now, if you'll place your hand on your heart space, yep, just allowing that, feel your heart beating. It is beating, I promise. We're all beating the same heartbeat. We're all pumping the same red blood. It is flowing through us, in us, as us. And we know that we are one by this awareness. We trust. Trust in our own inner guidance, knowing that we were born with trust. And if you have your eyes open, if you open them again, please gently, and say this loving affirmation again. Thank you. Together. I am trusting infinite love to guide all my actions. And so it is. And so we allow it. We simply allow it and change the world. And so it is. And so we let it be us. Amen. And now it's time for our tithes, love offerings, and gifts. If you take that energy that you just generated in your heart and put it into your hands, allowing yourself to be with all there is, the abundance of life, the abundance of all we have, as we say this love offering blessing together. Together, please. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. You are my source.
Shine the truth you bear, just as Master Jesus taught us. Shine the truth you bear. Sing that with me. Shine the truth you bear. Shine the truth you bear, just as Master Jesus taught us. Shine the truth you bear. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is good to me.
And our mission at Unity of Syracuse, as you can see it right there on the screen, is Unity of Syracuse inspires, awakens, and transforms lives through unlimited love, prayer, and service. That's who we are. Yes, we are. And I know you're wondering, what does Gandhi have to say today? Okay, Gandhi says, peace is its own reward. Yeah. How about love is its own reward as well? So we are accepting peace and we're accepting love. Thank you so much. And if you come right here, yep, turn around, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. So we take this moment to, I hear those hands. Yes. Allowing the love that is radiating out from our heart through our hands toward this money substance. God, the good omniscience, we are so grateful for allowing love to be us, trusting that that love is already within us and it radiates out throughout the world. We're giving thanks for all the gifts that have been given in this basket and all the various ways that it comes in through Love Streaming Land, through the mail. We're so grateful that we give of ourselves such that we know it comes back to us. We're grateful for this moment and grateful for this day. And so it is. And so we let it be us. Amen and amen and amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we have the children already here, so we're going to just bless our children as we bring our time to a close here. We have our children's blessing, if everyone will stand. Our children's blessing, and this is for the children of the world, or our own children in the world, as well as those who are here and not here today. Let's say our children's blessing and affirmation together. We bless our children wherever they are and see them surrounded by love and light throughout the week. We have a thriving, expanded youth and family ministry. Yes, we do. And the prayer for protection, everyone? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And the peace song.